Okay, so let's express each inequality using interval notation. For interval notation, you're going to be using grouping symbols, and those grouping symbols will either be parentheses, which will look like this, or you're going to be using brackets, which look like this. Now, the brackets means it includes the number, and the parentheses means it doesn't necessarily include the number. Okay, so for instance, we have x is greater than -3. So it's going to start at -3, but it doesn't include the number because we don't have an equal to sign underneath the greater than symbol. So we're going to have the -3, but it's all numbers that are greater than -3. So it's going to go from -3 to infinity. So it'll be going from -3 on to infinity forever. Because it doesn't include the -3, we're going to use a parenthesis for it. And when you have the infinity symbol, you're always going to have a parenthesis. The infinity symbol always uses the parenthesis symbol. Now, if we go over here to this x is less than or equal to number 4, that means what includes the number 4. And so 4 is greater than, so it's going to be going down to -infinity. And then we're going to have a comma, and we're going to go to our 4. Our 4 is going to be in a bracket because it includes it. And -infinity also is a parenthesis. Like I said, infinity always has parentheses. The thing about infinity, if it's a positive infinity, it's always on the right-hand side of your two numbers. If it's negative infinity, it's always on the left-hand side of your two numbers. Okay, so now we have another one down here. So x is greater than or equal to 1. Okay, and then it's all numbers that are greater than 1. So 1, and then it's going to go on to infinity because it's all numbers that are greater. Infinity always has a parenthesis. And because of this equal sign here, our 1 is going to have a bracket. Okay, so that's going to be our grouping symbols. We come to our last example here. We have x is less than -90. So it's going to be -infinity. Okay, -infinity. But -infinity is the largest number. So it's going to go from there all the way to the left-hand side. We're going to have a parenthesis. We're going to have a comma to separate our two numbers. And then -90 is our other number, but we don't have an equal sign here. So again, we're going to have a parenthesis. So that's how you would use interval notation for each one of these inequalities.